I'm John with Furuno USA. I'll be one of your sonar trainers today. And a little bit of background, I'm going on my 19th year here at Furuno. I started out on the West Coast doing commercial fishing, and then my family, we migrated over to the East Coast, did commercial fishing out of Boston and New England and Eastern Canada. And then we recently, well, I should say 4 years ago, moved down to New Jersey. So been operating out of here, and the last, 4 or 5 years, I spend quite a bit of time helping you guys out with your sonars for sport fishing. So had an opportunity to fish with some really good guys and pick up some tips and tricks. So hopefully we'll be able to show you what some of those are in today's session. The first thing that I am going to do, I just want to look at a couple of housekeeping items. So the operation test. We have a number of tests in here just for you to be familiar with. You won't have to do this ever, but in case that we need to get some information about the sonar system, we may ask you to run a couple of these tests and show us what the information is. So the operation test is basically just going to give us kind of a breakdown of our processor unit and the software version that we're running. Okay. Monitors, CPU temps on the processor, control units, and the big transceiver unit, that's the big white box, software, and some MAC address and IP address information on that unit, and then RTX boards, okay, and the B voltage and power supply in the transceiver, and our whole unit. And the HMS is the motion sensor, so it's showing our pitch and roll. So everything looks good there. You have the latest software version, and that all looks good. A couple of other things I want to look at just to check those boxes is the advanced menu. And in the advanced menu, it's kind of the technician's menu for installation and setup. You probably won't have to go in here too much, but I think it's a good idea to share with you how to get into this information in case you need to get in there and do some work. So on your controller, to access the advanced menu, you're going to push and hold the menu button down, and then you're going to push F1, F3, F1, and then release. Okay? I want you to do it. There you are. You see how now we have a kind of a different menu structure here. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I want to go into the installation settings. Okay? And I want to look at a couple of things. First off, I'm going to look at the hoist unit, and I want to make sure that they have the transducer label set. Which is good. E, your transducer offset. Okay, now let me ask you this, Frank. Were you a CSH10 operator? Okay, you're a blank slate. Okay, which is great. So the transducer offset is an offset that we sometimes put into the transducer. When we screw the shaft onto the transducer housing, the transducer has an arrow, and that's the bow arrow, right? We try to get that to point forward. Sometimes during the installation, that transducer is not pointing forward. So we have to steer it electronically in order to make sure that it thinks it's pointing forward. And there's a very simple test. Typically what we do is during commissioning, we will look at the prop noise, and if you have both wheels spinning, your prop noise, you'll notice it has like a red band behind the boat. We try to make sure that that is centered. And it looks like you have a negative 5.2 degree transducer offset. Okay. Okay, well, yeah, so we got an offset in there, and then we have a motion sensor offset. So the motion sensor is, there's a little box that sits on the side of the hoist unit. You've probably seen it down there. That that also has an arrow. But depending on the installation, sometimes we may have to clock the hoist unit in a specific orientation to get it into the space, and which means the motion sensor isn't pointing forward, so we put an offset into that as well. So that all looks good. And on the flange of the hoist unit, where you bolted onto the transducer or for the sonar tube, there is also an arrow, an embedded arrow in the flange, and that arrow should be pointing forward. Now, right now, with the way the motion sensor offset is put in there, I'm assuming that arrow is pointing actually towards the stern of the boat. And if it's not, we need to make a change. Yes, sir. Now, since you're down there, a couple of notes. On the side of the hoist unit, there is a switch, and that is a power switch. It's also a breaker. So if you ever see an error on your screen that says transducer not retracted, there may be a chance that switch has tripped. So you can reset it there on the side of the thing. Okay. Good. Very good. Yep. There's two wing nuts on the top of the hoist unit, and you loosen those up, and you can slide that little piece away, and you'll see an access point to put a 19 millimeter lug and a ratchet to manually raise that transducer. However, there's a brake. There's a manual brake. So on the side of the hoist unit, there's another small rectangular offset with a couple more wing nuts, so you can loosen those up and slide it one direction and lift it up, and you'll see a brake. You'll see a little lever there, and there's two wing nuts. You can loosen those up, slide that box one direction, and then you can orientate the cover up, and underneath that cover there's a black metal lever, and it doesn't take a whole lot to release the brake. What you need to do is you need to hold that brake lever down while you're ratcheting the transducer up, and that'll release the brake. Also very important, before you do a manual or retraction, turn the power switch off, because if that transducer, if it breaks free from whatever causing it to stick, the motor's going to spin up and the wrench is going to be on there, and it can bust your knuckle. So when you do a manual retraction, always secure power to the hoist unit using that power switch. I noticed here, there's one other setting that I'm going to change. Your gain. Okay. Right now your gain is increasing or decreasing by 0.2. And I'm going to go back into your installation menu here, and I'm going to change that so we get a little bit finer gain control steps to 1/10. Okay, so now you will see that we can have a little bit finer control with our gain. Okay, so we've been in the advanced menu. Now the question is, how do we get back to the regular menu? Okay, it's the same process. You push and hold the menu button. Now I'm going to let you do it. Push and hold menu, F1, F3, F1. Okay, that's how you get back to the standard menu. So, a couple of other items here in our menu. The sonar menu. In the sonar menu, this is where you can set your auto retraction speed. Okay, so right now your auto retraction is turned on, and it's set to 12 knots. If, depending on the conditions and where you're fishing, if you're in a big current, going uphill or downhill, it may trigger your transducer to raise. So there might be an occasion where you may need to increase your auto retraction so it doesn't trip itself in those conditions. So I would just left click on it with my mouse there and hit yes, and then you can come in here and change your auto retraction speed. Okay. So it's pretty simple in case you need to do that. Okay. So let's take a look here. First things first, at your P settings. Okay. And you mentioned that you have a couple of customized P settings in there. I'm just going to go ahead and cycle through all these and see what you're using. Okay, I see P8 in C, P2, P3, 4, 6, 7, 0. There's another custom one, P9 and P10. So this is your P8 setting file. Okay. Now it didn't transfer the name, so I'm going to come back in here to the standard menu, and I'm going to scroll down to record and register and hit yes. And then we are going to do P1, and I'm going to come down here and put in P8 in C, P8 in C, and hit enter, and then hit the checkbox. So now we have a name. Now, question for you. This is a black background. Do you like the black background? Okay, so I'm going to come up here to your color settings, and I like the blue. Yep, I like the blue, so I'm going to change to the blue background and hit apply, and then I'm going to quit. Now, here's a good token. We made a change to the color, the background color of the Sonar. And you'll notice, see, I have this asterisk up here. That asterisk tells me that somebody has made a change to the P1 setting. And we're using that change right now, but it hasn't yet been saved. So if I were to cycle to a different P setting, I'm going to go up to P2 and then come back to P1. It comes back to the black background, and we no longer have an asterisk. So it's gonna, when you see a star and you change to a P setting, it hasn't been saved. Okay. So that's an easy way to do some testing, make some changes. If you don't like it, cycle to a different P number, go back down, and it's going to revert back to however it was originally programmed and saved. Okay. So we're going to come back in here to our color settings, and I'm going to go ahead and choose blue, and I'm going to hit apply. Now we have the asterisk back. And from here, if we want to save that change, we got to come back into user program, select yes, and we want to save this to P1. There's our name, and I'm going to hit the checkbox. Now it's been saved, and you'll notice that the asterisk is gone. Okay. Yes, that is some housekeeping that we've just accomplished.